Welcome to the Digital Growth Hack Club, where we help you elevate your business and your bottom line. Here is your host, Jenny Jones.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you guys doing? Not good afternoon. Maybe it's good night. Maybe it's good morning. I don't know, but I am meeting with the CEO, her and her right-hand man, Sammy. Sophie here and Sammy are joining me here from Korea. Sophie is the co-founder of Adriel, and Sammy is her technical guru that's hanging out with her today. And I want them to give their own welcome as I kind of join you here, so we can kind of see what's going to happen here on the Digital Growth Hacks Club. You know, we're out here trying to help people make better use of the digital tools that they use and try to be more efficient, try to save them money, and try to help them make money. So that is really, really our goal here, and everyone knows that. But listen, I had the opportunity. I want to thank them first for we went back and forth trying to find the best time, right? As you can see outside, it is raining. No, I'm kidding. That is a backdrop. That is another LTD that I got. I love these LTDs, and I love this company that I'm speaking to today. And I want them to go ahead and just kind of introduce themselves, who they are, and then we're going to just kind of get into it. This was going to be a little bit different interview. We've seen a lot of the walkthrough already, but I kind of want to get behind the business sense and, you know, what brings them to Appsumo and how the Sumo leads can best take advantage of their tools. So I want them to first introduce themselves. Welcome to the show, Sophie and Sammy.
Hi.
Hi, Jenny. Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining me here. And first of all, what I first want to do is kind of want to talk a little bit about, let's first start with the name, because as I briefly spoke with you a little bit in the green room, we kind of talked about, so give us the idea. And I get that once you explain it, I said, oh, that makes sense, but kind of give us the idea about, first pronounce the name, because I know I may mess it up a few times, but just first pronounce the name and then kind of give us the background of that name.
So Adriel, we were founded about 3.5 years ago. And actually it's just the name of a person, because my idea was to give our business a person's name, so that whatever we do, our users feel very close to what we're doing. And Adriel obviously it's Adriel, or in French, Adriel, in Korean, Adriel. You know, whatever it's pronounced, it's universal name. You know, it can be a Spanish name, English name, French, even Korean. You know, even to Koreans, it sounds really beautifully. So we wanted to build a global business that can make sense to everyone on Earth. So it was kind of based on our ambition.
And it has ad in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I have another friend we were talking about. He buys LTDs too. We were like arguing over the name. Said, no, that's not the name. That's not the name. So I'm glad you clarified that for us. So it's almost like Alexa, right? And it's like, hey, this sounds like a job. Yeah, this sounds like a job for Adriel. Like, we can't find where's this leakage in our ad spending. This sounds like a job for Adriel.
Exactly.
Right? Oh, yeah. That could be a marketing campaign. Let me put that let me load that up. Try to find out where I can save some costs there. All right. So listen, so this is not your first rodeo, Sophie. I mean, this is you were a part of another company, I think around 2014.
Yeah.
It's called Solidware. Give us a little bit of background on that and kind of how you led us to this particular company here.
So I majored in finance in France and came back to South Korea. I'm based in Seoul, and I started my career as a consultant. And then I started working for this insurance company. And by we, I mean myself and my husband, who's a technical guy. It's not Sammy, it's another person. He's our CTO, by the way. He's Adriel CTO, and he's French, Olivier. And Olivier and we thought a lot of financial institutions like insurance companies and banks, they had a lot of data, but just the way they analyzed the data was so outdated. They were just using linear algebra and very like classic statistics.
Right.
And we were like, yeah, why don't we use machine learning to deliver more a better predictive analysis. So we built Solidware, and it was like AI machine learning predictive analysis solution for banks and insurance companies. And we exited very early. We sold the company to another financial institution who wanted to have our technology under their umbrella. And so we sold the company in 2015, worked for the company for another 2 years, and then founded Adriel because we thought there were a lot to do in marketing.
Wow. So you guys, and from what I understand, you sold that company, you started and you sold it within 7 months?
Yeah.
Or something. Well, that is amazing. That is
2015, like machine learning, predictive analysis, and fintech. These were all like buzzwords in the startup scene, and
right.
there were companies wanting to own that technology by at all costs. So we were lucky.
Wow. Okay. And so then that kind of, so doing I knew we connected for a reason, because I was I have a master's in finance as well. That's why I understood it when I first saw your deal. I said, this makes sense to me, right? Make the LTD sunken costs. It's already everything else revenue from up there, right? That's kind of how it works out, right? And so take us into, how did Adriel start out? Because you guys have a couple of big name companies. You guys are already in the large agency space already, right? So tell me a little bit, how did you guys get in that really, really fast? And then I want to talk about what your niche is here on Appsumo.
So at the very, very beginning, Adriel was a slightly different company. We pivoted a little bit in the middle. At the very beginning, we were more of an agency ourselves for small, medium businesses. So we do still have agency business, and we actually built what Appsumo users are seeing on the deal page, which is data, gathering, pulling platform, reporting, all in one dashboard. We built that because we wanted to run our agency business for small businesses at the maximum efficiency. So it was really based on our own, firsthand experience that we had to build this platform. And then we were thinking, wow, so okay, we have this dashboard and everything, which is really great for our agency business. Why don't we just sell this tool to other agencies who will have the same problem as our agency? So because
And what problem was that? That same problem, because I want you to be able to explain that, because I get it, but I want you to be able to explain it for the Sumo
all about efficiency and not wasting your time on manual repetitive jobs like gathering data from different ad platforms like Facebook, Google. They're all in different formats. They're pretty slow when you have a lot of campaigns, and they're not very nicely organized by clients or product. So you always have to do like pre-processing of your data,
right,
and then report them. And there's always kind of a discrepancy between what you're reporting and what is going on, because there will always be like at least an hour, 12 hours, even a day of like time gap. And we wanted to solve that problem of like transparency and efficiency for agency and also clients.
And also it's super, super time consuming. The more clients you have, it becomes very hard to scale because you have to do the same process for, let's say, 50 or 100 clients, and it takes up the whole day. It takes up the time from your account managers, and they don't have time to focus on what matters the most.
But Adriel is not just a reporting tool. It's more like detecting problems and detecting opportunities, and then take actions accordingly.
So would it be safe to say, because another friend of mine, he's gonna kill me. I'm not even gonna say his name, but I told him, I said, I think it's more of an audit tool. He says, yeah, kind of sounds like what it is, because if you have holes or you have inefficiencies in your whole ad world, this type of tool where you can use more of a, like I said, pivot tables, you pull down all these different reports and you move them where this is where we're having this problem in our ad. this changed, or this keyword may have changed, and it's taken our spend in a different direction. Let's allocate those dollars and move those dollars over to another. Is that so? I call it like a little audit tool because I'm finance major first, right? So how does that sound to you, Sophie? Audit tool?
Got it, totally right. Yeah, you got it. You got the point. There's our, promotional video on our YouTube channel, and the very first statement that we make is, can you confidently say that you have full control of your online ad spend? So, when I ask like CFOs and CMOs, how much are you spending at the moment? What's your monthly, average spend? Surprisingly, not a lot of people can give an exact answer. They don't know how much they're spending. If they don't know how much they're spending, how can they know whether they are spending it well or not?
And as effectively, yeah, you're spending this much, but is it being, is it, I like to call it leakage. Hey, there's money over here that's not doing anything. Let's put that money back to work. Okay, yeah, so go ahead, I'm sorry, you wanted to finish your thought.
No, it's fine. I mean, yeah, it's exactly. So we were shocked by the fact that so many people just don't know how much money they're spending, like how much is being leaked on some bad campaigns.
Right.
And there are a lot of accidents. There are some campaigns that are not supposed to run because the promotion was over. But if you're managing thousands of campaigns, how can you know? How can you control everything? So we thought the first step would be, gather everything from different sources, different platforms, because that's always, the very first step. And then being able to organize a lot of campaigns in a format that will tell you,
What you need to know,
what you have to do. And then not just showing that data, but also allowing you to allowing you to turn on and off certain campaigns, certain ad creatives directly from our dashboard. Saves a lot of time.
Yes.
Give you full, optimization ability. So that's.
So what about? Go ahead, Sammy.
Yeah, it's true that a lot of the tool, like there is a big market for marketing reports, but a lot of those tools are not interactive, which means that they pull the data, they display the data, but then you're kind of locked in there with rows of data, and you can't really do anything. And if you want to do anything, you then have a lot of downtime because you got to ask your account manager or your ad manager to do it. With Adriel, the great thing is you'll see something and then you can take immediate action to change, whether it is budget, turning on or off, whether it is a keyword, a campaign, an ad. So that's how we kind of differentiate in this kind of not saturated, but this big reporting market that there is.
That was one of the first things that I noticed when I downloaded your software, is how quickly I can find out where things are. And let's say the small business person that's out there, because I think your tool is more for the small to medium-sized agency. That's the market. That's the reason why you brought it to Appsumo. And I'm going to let you expound on that. But if before Adriel got here, or before it landed in my Appsumo mailbox, right? If I had to go to Amazon or Google or Bing and I pull all the reports, all of the reports, they all export, right? They'll give me a CSV, or maybe I can get it in Excel, or they'll give me that. So now I got 7 different reports. Now I got to put them together, right? Because I know how to do pivot tables, right? But why do I need to pull a report? Not only pull a report, but I maybe have to pull it daily to make any effective adjustments. And I think the person that's probably looking at this, or the Appsumo link that's looking at this, saying, "Oh, I can just do that on my own." Well, how much money are you losing trying to do it on your own, or how much money are you losing paying someone to do that for you when you can just do that at the click of a button?
I'd just like to jump on what you're saying real quick, because I think a lot of time the hurdle for people is, oh, I can just do it myself. Why would I need to pay, say, $200 a month for software when, it just takes me one morning. I just plug everything into Data Studio. But we all know that time is money, right? And if you're losing say 5 or 6 hours each week or to do this.
Right.
At the end of the month, if you're based on a $30, sorry, per hour payroll, you're losing a lot more than $200 a month for this, and it's super painful. And the great thing, as you were mentioning, this kind of audit aspect. So first, you save time, and second, you have the audit aspect, the money leakage. Once you find that out, how much are you again saving each month by finding out those discrepancies?
So that makes sense to me. So let's pivot and let's talk about, as we kind of come to a close here, let's talk about the tier 1 and the tier 2. Now, I want to understand a little bit better here, because your tier 1 has 3 data sources, and it's like, hey, we do 3,000 for business, 15,000 for agencies. Can you kind of explain that a little bit more? Because I noticed you guys got a lot of questions on that. So tell me, in your mind, and putting that together, what does that then mean? I'm going to start with the tier 1, because I have tier 2. So yeah. So
yeah, the Sumoling feedback from those tiers was quite unanimous. They weren't really happy with the tiers that we've set up. It's our first time on Appsumo, so this is a learning experience for us. It's definitely very insightful for us to see how people want to utilize our tool. It's always useful to have, a new audience come into our tool to kind of know, okay, this is how this audience wants to use it. This is the pricing that makes sense to them. So then, we adjust accordingly. We can always learn from every experience, right? How the tiers that we've set up are, we know that brands will spend X amount on advertising. So let's say they have a Y amount for budget, for software, for managing their ads. So that makes sense because they spend X amount. But then agencies, they're managing multiple brands. So the ad spend limit wouldn't necessarily make sense for them because they're not managing their own budget. So their budget for software is not the same as the amount they manage, right? So that's how we kind of approached it, and having different ad spend limits for brands and agencies.
So in actuality, if I digest what you just said, is if you are, or you do call yourself a small to medium-sized agency, which that's who you are targeting this to at Appsumo, correct? If you do call it
targeting anyone that might see a fit for our software in their portfolio. We actually, going back to what you were mentioning about the audits, that is a use case that wouldn't necessarily really apply to a very small business who wouldn't be running that many campaigns. But that is something that definitely applies when you're scaling up, you have more campaigns running, and you have to stay on top of all that data. So that's the use case for the kind of medium-sized, larger clients for us.
I guess where I was going to was, we say even on tier 2, you say, hey, 20 data sources, 10,000 to 50,000. And that's more of, say you are a medium size and you're running that kind of, it's really, if you are an agency, then it's really to the point where you have a large enough client base that will cover anything that runs over that. You should be, if you're running a business properly with good financials, right? So if you're running with good financials, you should be able to cover that cost and move into doing some high volume with your company. That cost should be covered, right? And especially you're getting an LTD. If I'm doing the numbers, right? If I had a one-time purchase of 159 and I made this purchase, because right now you guys there's clients that do maybe several $1 million with you guys a year or every quarter. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And so for you to bring a 159 one-time deal to this community, is there anything that you think that we're missing in our discussion of what should not be covered? Because you're giving unlimited seats, you're giving unlimited connected campaigns.
Yep.
Right. So I have one quick question. First of all, I'm gonna let you answer that question. I'm gonna have one more question and we'll kind of bring it to a close. So is there anything that we're missing, or is there anything you'd like to say to the Sumo links out there who may be missing it, and some who I've gotten, because I think some people are catching on and picking up to it, but those who think still may be on the fence about the whole ad. Let me ask this question. What happens if I go over, and I think you may even cover this in your question, because I think you guys have some type of deal, you're cutting us something, but what happens if I go over my 50,000 monthly ad spend?
So if you're an agency and you go over that limit, first I want to mention that it is possible to have, so this limit is on a workspace basis. So if you have multiple clients, you can activate licenses on a workspace basis. So as long as your client doesn't go over 50K a month ad spend, you would be able to have, let's say, 10 clients under that limit and have separate workspaces for each client, right?
Stop right there. I just want to make sure I understand. So the total for me as a licensee from the total is 50K, or it's 50K per workspace? I want to make
per workspace. Everything's per workspace.
Oh, that's different. Because I don't know that. I understand that.
I think the limitations were a bit confusing for a lot of people. So we'll definitely need to revisit that. If we come back to Appsumo one of these days, we'll definitely make sure to bring a deal that makes sense for everyone.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Sophie, you didn't tell me that. I stayed up to the next day in the morning. You didn't. So it's per workspace.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's per workspace. Okay, that's different.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
On a workspace basis.
No.
Yeah, it works.
Okay, so, and I love the way the workspaces were. Oh my gosh. So now I listen, we've already gone on way too long. Is there anything else? So that's major.
So yeah, and answering your second question, if
Sure.
that is still a little bit too limiting for your agency, we offer 50% off for anyone who comes to us and wants to hop on one of our regular subscriptions.
But there are some Sumolines who bought several codes.
Yeah, there
to
are
activate
yeah.
several workspaces.
Okay.
So that some of those some of the ad spends connected to each workspace does not go over. I mean that's fine.
So if you buy more codes, you can still put us all in the same login platform and all that. Is that how that works, or no? So
yeah. So you've seen how to navigate between different workspaces, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's how it would pan out.
Oh, so if I bought additional code, it would go off to the right and you do the drop down. Okay, perfect,
Yes.
perfect.
So you would redeem those licenses on a client basis. You would need to use their email address. It's their workspace essentially, but you can manage them through your main central workspace.
Okay. One last question. I keep saying one last question, but I keep coming up with these. So from what I understand, you guys are going to be adding more data sources.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, I know you can't promise when it's going to happen or anything like that. First of all, do Appsumos get those additional sources when they're released?
Absolutely.
Okay. And do you have some that you can kind of talk about now, or on the radar, or on the?
Sure. Yeah, because so we're currently working on Google Spreadsheet. So that, there are many clients, agencies who want to pull data from some niche channels, and some channels who are not even providing any APIs. And, if they don't have any API, then it's impossible to connect our system directly to those niche channels. But one way would be, connect our system to Google Spreadsheet, and whenever our users, Sumolines, update that Google Spreadsheet with any data from any data source, even some sources without any API, they can still have data along with other data that we provide on our dashboard. So Google Spreadsheet is one very useful data source that we're working on. It's almost done. And Pinterest, Reddit, all these social ads channels are almost done. We're also working on some programmatics like the trade desk and
Taboola also.
Yeah, Taboola,
Quora.
Adriel.
There's a lot, but
you guys working on Taboola as well? Okay. And I think you mentioned can you mention the other one that starts with a W, or no? I brought it up already. Walmart? No? Possibly?
Walmart, yeah,
yeah,
Walmart
of
ads.
course.
It's like, what is he talking about?
I was confused there for a second. Yeah, but yeah,
There's a
Walmart
lot,
definitely.
yeah.
We already have Amazon. The next step is Walmart.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, is there anything else you want to say to the Sumalings and say, hey, listen, you gotta understand this deal for what it's worth. And that makes sense to do the Google Sheets, because that, again, takes me back to this whole pivot table thing and pulling these columns. And I don't want to see these numbers, but I want to see all of these numbers from all of
Yeah.
these.
Yeah.
And I just want to analyze these numbers, right? These two numbers, is there anything else you want the Sumalings to know about Adriel?
Well, first of all, I'd like to sincerely thank all the Sumalings who give us constructive and passionate feedback. We are aware that the limits and the tiers were not the best offer that they we expect, but we're learning. We're new on Appsumo, but we were very happy that people were complaining, because I think they're complaining because they need this tool, right?
Right.
If it's not something that they need, they wouldn't even
For sure.
bother complaining. So I'm so happy to see such reaction on Appsumo, and thank you so much. We're learning so much. I honestly didn't expect that Sumalings would be so nice and so knowledgeable about this space. They know so many things, and we're really learning a lot. So thank you. Yeah, and please give us more feedback.
Yeah, the support has
helps a
been
lot.
awesome.
Yeah, the
It's been
support.
great experience.
Adriel is a startup, although our tool is pretty advanced, but we're growing really fast, which means we're flexible. So if you want to talk about the deal, please talk to us. I'm here, Sammy's here. We have it. You can book a demo with us.
I know that. So do you guys have a community or something where those people who have already purchased, and that's normally what some of the other founders have done, is says, hey, let's create a community for the people who have purchased and get their feedback. And so if you do decide to come back, they can kind of help you structure it. And I've seen that happen a lot. So that way you're not going in blind again. You have some ideas. Says, yeah, I think the Sumalings will like that. And so
Yeah.
you don't want a whole lot of riffraff in there though. So you want the people who've already purchased it and committed to your project and your vision. You don't want everybody in there. Just the people
Definitely.
who've already
Of
purchased it.
course.
Yeah.
And we start having quite good reviews already. After a week. Thank you so much for those positive reviews. And I'm not sure if I can mention some other product directories than Appsumo, but they're not direct competitors to Appsumo. But
G2, Capterra.
Yeah, those software directories. If we also have this promotion, if you leave a genuine review, positive and genuine review on those product directories, we provide coupons, credits that you can use if ever you want to purchase our other plans.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, do you have a Facebook community or anything like that where you could kind of direct and guide kind of the people who've already come into it?
we have a Slack, but I think Facebook is probably the more one size fits all, because not everyone has Slack. So we do have a Facebook group. I can link that to you right after the call.
All right. Okay, well, thank you guys for your time. I was passionate about it. I left the first loan review and we kind of connected as a result of
for a minute.
Well, as a result of that, I think that's kind of what led to this interview. So thank you guys. But everyone knows me. If there's a good deal, I'm kind of influencer. If there's a good deal, I'm going to find it and I'm going to sniff it out and I'm going to see how it works for your business. And I saw this deal right away and I said, I think people need to know more about it. And when I start unlocking it and start unpacking it, you can see I've left 3 reviews. Okay, I'm 20% in and this is what we got. So I am going to give a final grade on the actual on this actual Ltd tool. And that is really all I have. Is there anything else you guys have for my subscribers, my listeners to the Digital Growth Hacks Club? Is there anything else that you guys would like to say before I close out?
A big thank you is what we'd like to say. Thank you, Jenny, and thank you to your subscribers. Thanks to the Sumolings. Really, all in all, an awesome experience for us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for staying late up to 4 PM. And me,
Thank you
4
for
in the
staying up.
morning.
It's not too late for us.
4 AM for me. No, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much again. We'll see you guys again. Hey, this has been Jenny Jones. I've been here with Sophie and Sammy here from Adriel, here on the Digital Growth Hacks Club, where we try to help you make money with these tools and try to earn your money back so you can go and buy more tools. So thanks a lot. Thank you guys. You guys have been pleasant to work with, and I appreciate it. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us here on the Digital Growth Hack Club, where we help you elevate your business and your bottom line. Please do not forget to subscribe and share. And until next time, goodbye for now.